Hello, I'm drll. Welcome to the global premiere of Fire-Breathing Politics, where I invite people on who are generally full of shit and flame them with facts and objective analysis. Now, many viewers may also know me as the host of the show talking about a bunch of shit I hope is at least marginally related to a legal topic I introduce. However, because many topics suggested by viewers tend to fall outside the purview of a legal topic show where we are already jabber-fucking around on enough tangential, marginal and completely fucking unrelated bullshit as it is, Masterblog TV has decided to launch a new show. That being this show. Stupid fucking idiots. Today we'll be discussing the US Export and Import Bank loaning $2 billion to Brazilian oil co Petrobras with our distinguished guest, former governor of Alaska and vice presidential candidate, Sarah Palin. Welcome to the show.
You betcha.
Now Sarah, can you explain what your principal objection is to this financing proposal by Exim?
You betcha. You see, this is a great example of your tax dollars hard at work, first cars, now foreign oil. Today's Wall Street Journal contains some puzzling news for all Americans who are impacted by high energy prices and who share the goal of moving us toward energy independence.
Yes, I did notice a few people who seem to be extraordinarily puzzled by this news.
You betcha. For years, states rich with an abundance of oil and natural gas have been begging Washington politicians for the right to develop their own natural resources on federal lands and offshore. Such development would mean good-paying jobs here in the United States, with health benefits, and the resulting royalties and taxes would provide money for federal coffers that would potentially offset the need for higher income taxes, reduce the federal debt and deficits, or even help fund a $1 trillion health care plan if one were so inclined to support such a plan.
Well, you did sign the executive order in Alaska that created an official state living will/death panel form and made April 16th the living will/official state death panel pull the fucking plug on grandma's socially unproductive ass day, so I wouldn't put it past you to support the other Nazi death panel health care plan as well. Yet the fact is, neither Obama nor anyone in his administration made this decision, nor had anything to do with it. The Exim Bank is an independent, financially self-sustaining federal agency. They are not reliant upon tax money in any way. They assist in financing the export of U.S. goods and services to international markets, which strengthens our economy.
Well, I did sign that executive order, but let me just be so very clear, which means I will be avoiding any basketball analogies here. My apologies to Billy Basketball and Polly the point guard. But the America I know and love is not one in which my parents or my baby with Down syndrome will have to stand in front of Obama's death panel so his bureaucrats can decide, based on a subjective judgment of their level of productivity in society, whether they are worthy of health care. Such a system is downright evil. The America I know and love is one in which my parents or my baby with Down syndrome will have to stand in front of my very own death panel. Such a system is downright fucking awesome, baby. Hey, I'm a maverick and I'm shaking this shit up, bitches. You want hope and change? You better hope you never figure out what is going on inside of my head, because you'll have to change your goddamn shorts. But I digress. My question is, why is it that during these tough times, when we have great needs at home, the Obama White House is prepared to send more than $2 billion of your hard-earned tax dollars to Brazil so that the nation's state-owned oil company, Petrobras, can drill offshore and create jobs developing its own resources?
Governor, just goddamn. I just told you that Exim doesn't rely on tax funds and that Obama had nothing to do with their decision to offer financing to Petrobras. The financing, as it always is the case with Exim, is contingent upon Petrobras using the money to purchase U.S. goods and services from our domestic oil and gas industry. In other words, it not only creates jobs and $2 billion worth of economic stimulus to our domestic oil and gas industry, it also allows us to profit off the financing of the transaction, the proceeds of which will be used and I quote you, Governor, to provide money for federal coffers that would potentially offset the need for higher income taxes, reduce the federal debt and deficits, or even help fund a $1 trillion healthcare plan if one was so inclined to support such a plan. Which of course I do.
I'll speak for the talent I have personally witnessed on the oil fields in Alaska when I say no other country in the world has a stronger workforce than America, no other country in the world has better safety standards than America, and no other country in the world has stricter environmental standards than.
I couldn't agree more with you there. Which is precisely why I support Exim financing this transaction. Not only will Exim make money financing it and add the profits to the treasury, but they will bring $2 billion worth of Brazilian oil money to US oil and gas companies. It's drill baby drill in Brazil. Granted, it's a different kind of drilling down there, but you get the idea.
You betcha. Alaska is proof you can drill and develop and preserve nature with its magnificent caribou herds passing by the Trans-Alaska Pipeline system, completely unaffected. One has to wonder if Obama is playing politics and perhaps refusing a win for some states just to play to the left with our money.
Incredibly stupid points taken in reverse order. Scientific research has been inconclusive whether additional oil development would negatively affect the caribou, but the study performed by the NRDC concluded additional drilling in ANWR could certainly reduce the herd. However, the whole drill and war argument is absurd. ANWR, at peak production, would amount to less than 2% of world oil demand. That will have absolutely no significant impact on the price, as OPEC could easily cut production and offset that increase. That oil is much more valuable to us as a long-term reserve as prices continue to go up than to waste it in production now. And again, Obama had nothing to do with this financing decision, and Exim doesn't use taxpayer money. Sheesh.
I still say drill baby drill, and so do most Americans, but of course they're more interested in repeating the humorous and sexually suggestive phrase, possibly while drinking a fucking shit ton of booze and wearing some jackbaggerous hard hat they bought at the local consignment shop, like the ones I talk about, but never patronize, because the shit they sell sucks major fucking ass. Now, Mr. Obama can stop the extreme tactics and exert proper government authority to encourage resource development and create jobs and health benefits in the U.S. Instead, he chooses to use American dollars in Brazil that will help to pay the salaries and benefits for Brazilians to drill for resources when the need and desire is great in America. Buy American is a wonderful slogan, but you can't say in one breath that you want to strengthen our economy and stimulate it, and then in another ship our much-needed dollars to a nation desperate to drill while depriving us of the same opportunity.
Good great God almighty Christ on a cracker, that's stupid. It's like banging your fucking head against a wall talking to these people. You can't say in one breath that you want to strengthen our economy and stimulate it, and then in another start bitching and moaning quite stupidly about Exim Bank financing a transaction which will do that very thing. Oh shit. I guess you just fucking did, didn't you? Again, Obama had nothing to do with this financing decision, and Exim doesn't use taxpayer funds, but Exim Bank has financed over $400 billion in U.S. exports over the years, 85% of which benefited small businesses. It's nice to know Exim is trying to bring $2 billion more in export revenue to U.S. businesses, and the profits from financing the transaction to the U.S. Treasury. If they didn't do this, it would have been the Chinese Exim Bank financing the export of Chinese oil and gas-related goods and services, and you fucktards would have been bitching about that then. Right.
You betcha.
Well, that's all the time we have for the premiere of Fire-Breathing Politics with Draconum, thanks to our guest Governor Palin, the audience, and to the United States Export and Import Bank for kicking so much fucking ass for US businesses and our economy as a whole. Excellent work. This is Draconum, signing off for now.